a massive wrap up video. So, number one here is awe inspiring works of art. These will be reserved for the 5-star reads, which I don't know if I have any, but let's see. Then, number four is solid, steady book, no complaints. The third one, 3 stars, is will read if needed. And 2 star is a disappointed stare, and a 1 star is just utter trash. Then I have The Golden Gate by Vikram Seth. This is the very first book that I've ever read in verse. Absolutely awe-inspiring work of art. I know Vikram Seth was a beautiful prose writer, but his poetry, oh my god, I loved every single page in this, I think. This is set in like the 80s San Francisco yuppie sort of situation, and it's about a group of such people who are in like the 20s and 30s and just figuring out life. It is beautiful, it is witty, it is funny. It There's so many like really sad moments as well, but just so beautifully written. I absolutely love this book. Definitely, I 100% will recommend and ask you to check it out. So yeah, another classic for me is The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. This is the most recent read for me. I've literally just finished this a couple of days ago. This is set in the Great Depression, and it follows this family who has lost their farm to the banks and decide to migrate to California in search of jobs, just like thousands of families around them from Oklahoma. And it's about the hardships that they face on the roads, the discrimination they face because the people of California are also not exactly welcoming to migrants. And yeah, it's heartbreaking in many points of time, but it's so beautifully descriptive that you just want to keep reading it. I will definitely say it was an awe-inspiring work of art, and since this won the Pulitzer in that year, I would say everybody agrees as well. 2025 release, Great Big Beautiful Lie by Emily Henry. Emily Henry, I think everybody was looking forward to this book. I feel like it was a solid three-starrer. I'm going to put it in will read it if needed. I found it okay, honestly. This is about these two writers who compete for the chance to write the memoir of this really famous socialite who has just gone into hiding. And why does she want these two, especially, to write the book is also like another mystery part to it. I found it okay, honestly. Yeah, no more comments on that. Then I have I Who Have Never Known Men. Oh my god, this book. Absolutely, I don't want to tell you what it is about. Just go in, just read it. Just read it. It's about these bunch of women who have been underground, imprisoned for a lot of years. One of them was actually a baby when she was imprisoned, and so she has no concept of the outside world. And they get out, and how they navigate life outside is basically the book. I don't want to ruin the premise of this. Just read it. It was absolutely incredible. I've never read anything like it, and it was awe-inspiring. Absolutely. Then I have another classic, If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. This is about a man who has been falsely incarcerated, and we follow the story about how he ends up in that situation, about how him and his girlfriend, how they have evolved through their life. And yeah, it's a heartbreaking story for sure. It's not as much about the story as much as it was about the characters, and it was very beautiful to read about the book from the perspective of the woman who's fighting to get her loved one out of jail, and is also learns that she's pregnant, and she's just trying to deal with that as well. Actually really enjoyed it. I'm gonna put it in the solid steady book, but I would say this is like even a step further from that. I would say this is a 4.5 star for sure. Another nonfiction, I have Indian Summer by Alex Von Tunzelman. I have been trying to read this book for God knows how many years. I finally bought the physical copy of it, and I finally finished it. This is set in the few years leading up to Indian independence and a few years after that. And it mainly focuses on Mountbatten, on the Nehrus and Gandhi, and the interrelationships among these three like major spheres of power. There's so much detail in this. I had absolutely no idea. It's a brilliant book. It's brilliantly written. At no point does he lose the reader with like really random facts. Another recent finish for me, Instructions for a Heatwave by Maggie O'Farrell. This is basically about this family whose father goes missing in the middle of Britain's worst heat wave. So the three siblings are not really that close in their adulthood, and they all come back to their childhood home to help their mom find her husband. And yeah, again, a multi generational family tale. A very solid book, I would say, and I liked it. I would definitely say that this is a good lit fic book where you don't want to use too much brain, but you just want a good story and like solid characters. So yeah. Then a fun one, Jane and Dan. Not exactly a fun one. It started off fun, but this is Jane and Dan at the End of the World by, forgotten who the author is, by Colleen Oakley. I read about this book on someone's newsletter on Substack, and I picked it up and I was reading it on Kindle. Absolutely really funny. It's about this couple who go to this really fancy dinner, and the dinner and the restaurant gets hijacked by these eco terrorists, and the way that it is unfolding is very similar to the woman's recent book. That's all I'm going to say. I actually really enjoyed this one as well. It was funny, it was witty, but it was also very sad. It also had a lot of like tough things which are happening to the people who are portrayed. So yeah. Then a disappointing one, Catabasis by Arif Kwong, another 2025 release, another recent read. This is about these two students who decide to go into hell to rescue their professor. It is very tense. It is. I know this book is a very polarizing book, like a lot of Kwong's books, honestly. But for me personally, this was one of my least favorite Arif Kwong books. I will say that this was a 2.5, 3 stars for me. I'm gonna put it in disappointed stare just because I was disappointed. I was really looking forward to this book, and the premise sounded so incredible, but I just felt like in the middle of narration, she cut away a lot of times to explain these obscure academic things and logical arguments which are very famous in academia, and she just lost me there. I just felt like it was too dragged out because of that. So yeah, I was disappointed with this one. So yeah. Then I have Magpie Murderers by Anthony Horowitz. I could not, for the life of me, tell you what the plot of this book if I tried. I just genuinely don't remember what the plot of this book is. And I think it was a book within a book. Like somebody is writing about a murder that happens in a small town when they get embroiled in a murder as well. It deviated too much from the murder mystery is what I remember about it. I'm gonna put this in a disappointed stare as well because this is one of the most highly rated murder mysteries on Goodreads and all the reading platforms, and I did not vibe with it. An Indian book I finished is Kabar by K.R. Meera. I think this was a solid 3 stars. This is basically about this small town judge who kind of gets mixed up in like a magical realism situation. I don't know how to explain this book, honestly. Just read it. It's a very short one. It's a 60, 70 page book. And it was okay. That's all I'm going to say about it. Then I have another one, The Quiet Side of Passion by Alexander McCall Smith. Honestly, I'm going to put this in disappointed stare. I've read one other Alexander McCall Smith and I absolutely loved that. It is one of his male focused murder mysteries. This one is about this lady who runs like an ethics newsletter, and she's a busybody. She gets involved in a lot of like random things in her small town, and she reasons away her involvement with using ethics. And I just skipped a lot of pages. I was just not interested in this book at all. I was just reading it to finish it after a point. Then I have The Secret of Secrets by Dan Brown, another recent release, another recent read for me. I'm gonna say disappointed stare. Honestly, it was so chunky for no reason. This is a typical Robert Langdon book. In this one, we explore consciousness, and about apparently a discovery that maybe human beings' consciousness is not linked to us, but linked to like a receiver to some otherworldly things. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, it's typical Robert Langdon. I just didn't feel like it was well done enough. I think Inferno was good, and after that, he's just slid right back down to the depths of the lowest, which I think was the lost symbol. Then I have A Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I'm gonna put this in a solid, steady book. This is one of those cozy books that I've read, which is basically about this witch who randomly gets this call to come teach other young witches. And it's a story, once again, of found families, about love, about affection, about people finding companionship in really unexpected places. And it's a very cozy book like that. So, really enjoyed it. Then Sula by Toni Morrison. Unfortunately, was not my favorite Toni Morrison. I think The Bluest Eye still is the absolute favorite for me. But this one is about these two friends who grow up together, Sula and Nell. And one of them moves away and comes back after quite some time to discover that maybe their friendship is not really the same as how it was when growing up. Like there's a very different power dynamic. And yeah, as with every Morrison book, the writing is beautiful, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I know that I enjoy her books. So yeah. Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, another 2025 book. I have a vlog on this. I think I'm gonna put this in a 4-star solid steady book. This is about Haymitch when he is in the Hunger Games. If you know Hunger Games lore, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I actually loved diving back into the Hunger Games world and rediscovering these characters and how they're linked to the main books and things like that. So I really enjoyed it. The Baptism of Tony Kalangut by Sudeep Chakravarti is an Indian book that I've read. It's set in Goa and it's about one man's fight against these very powerful forces which are looking to exploit the beautiful resources of this very beautiful state. This is something that is unfolding right in front of us as in real time. So reading a book on that is was very sad in many times, but it was full of the Goan happy vibes, like the people and the nature and the way they talk. So the vibe of Goa was there, but it was highlighting really, really important stuff. So I actually really enjoyed it. Then The Living Mountain by Amitav Ghosh, another really small one. I'm gonna put this in 4 stars again. This is basically about like a myth essentially of how like the local people near a mountain revere that mountain, and the natives basically, and they get colonized and the mountain is kind of taken over by this outside forces, and then it's a fable for um, the consequences of disturbing nature, of ruining our ecology. So yeah. The Other Valley by Scott Alexander Howard, on the other hand, very, very strange book. This is basically, it's such an interesting concept. It basically says that it's basically that there's a small town ringed by mountains, and if you go to the right, you are basically like 5 years later. It's the same exact town, but just set 5 years later. If you go left, same exact town set 5 years ago. And there's this border police which basically governs people's movement between like these towns, and like people can go skip ahead and so on and so forth. Like if you go 2 stops ahead, it's like 10 years. If you go 2 stops piche, it's like 10 years behind. And only very, very special circumstances can let you pass through the borders, and it's this woman who kind of ends up being the border police essentially, and how she ends up there and what she does with it and what the consequences of it is. The book, again, unlike anything I've ever read, and I will just want you to go into it blind. I actually really enjoyed it. This would also be a 4.5-star read for me. I think next time I'm going to have like a middle tier between 5 and 4, for definitely must read books, but like not exactly fully 5 star as well. So yeah, then I have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. I'm going to put Sense and Sensibility in 3 star. It was a very long reading project for me. It took me, I think, around 3 months to finish this book. The book is about these two sisters, Eleanor and Marianne, and they move to Barton Park to be in a very small cottage after the death of their father. I didn't like how the book ended, especially I don't think Eleanor should have ended up with who she did, and she was my favorite character in the book. So because of the ending, I feel like I've downgraded this book through a 3 star. Otherwise, I think it was going on to be a 4 star. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a 3 star for me. And then the last book is Wild Duck Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. Yeah. This is a 4 star for me. This is set in like this really remote island, which is based on a real life island, which is basically uninhabited. It's only inhabited by like seals and penguins, except for like a few scientific outposts. This one family is kind of like the last residents there, who are tasked with winding up the seed bank which is on the island. And one day, this woman who's injured washes up on their shore, and it's about what happens and what secrets she unravels about what happened on the island as well before she's come. So yeah, absolutely, it's one of those really really atmospheric books that you are just completely immersed in. And I ended up really enjoying this book. I would say this was also like a 4.5 star read for me, so absolutely must read. And yeah, that's it. Those are all the books that I have been reading in the last, I would say, 7 months. Yeah. Um, Last 3 months to go of this year. Let's see if I make more wrap up videos like this. I hope to make come back on YouTube either way. Please like, share, comment, subscribe if you're still here. I have a feeling this is going to be a very, very long video, but I'm going to try my best to squeeze it all in. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.